to do, you guys? It is your girl, Fallon Favors. Yes, back again for another episode of the Baby Mama Chronicles. Thank you so much for joining me once again. If this is your first time here, welcome. Come on in, get comfortable, grab a snack. I want to make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I want you to be the first one to see anytime I drop any new content, okay? I want to make sure you stay tapped in, okay? Let's go ahead and get into the video. Are Black women wife material? I'm going to go ahead and take my drink now. Okay, you guys, so before we get started, I wanted to do a big shout out to my sister, Nay, okay? Company name is called Piece of Color, okay? A lot of different sub-brands that she has, but Piece of Color is the main brand that she has that houses all of the different various things that she does, right? So the earrings that I'm wearing today are by her, okay? They're initial earrings, F earrings. I wonder, could y'all get a little, just so you guys can see that. Super cute. In addition, okay, last year we did have a partnership venture where we did create our own fragrance, okay? All my BM gang, I want to make sure y'all get this, okay? You know I usually don't sell stuff, although I'm gonna start. Make sure you guys are tapping into these products, okay? You guys have got to make sure, okay? This is Free Spirit, all right? It smells amazing. Everybody that smells it loves it. I mean, it's very soft, it's very feminine. It just smells really good, and it's gonna kind of catch you by surprise. The kind of notes that we use and the undertones are so amazing. So just make sure you guys check this out, get this, and I will leave this in the description, okay? It's interesting that I would be the one to bring this conversation to the forefront, considering that I am a Black woman, okay? I know all the Black girl things, okay? We're not a Black girl that grew up in a valley or, you know, in suburban areas. And not to say that that makes you any less Black, you know, but I think the experience that you have being a Black woman can differ. Maybe it's not an absolute, but it definitely can differ just depending on the area that you grew up in, right? And so if you've grown up in somewhat of an impoverished area or a more underprivileged area, that's gonna have a different bearing on your perspective and, you know, just the way that you look at life, right? So I grew up just, you know, black girl, okay? All of the Black girl struggles, all of the Black girl issues, all of the things. And I feel like I'm the appropriate person and appropriate party to pull us to the floor. You know, the viewpoints that I come with and the mindset, all of this has been developed through my own trial and error. So every girl that I try to coach and provide advocacy for, I've been that girl before. Okay, so it's never a judgment zone. It's always a judgment-free zone, and I'm always coming in with love, but needing to tell us the truth because I truly feel like it is going to help us level up, okay? And I think that it's necessary for us to level up in today's times. We still are having to fight way harder for even half a chance to do a lot of the different things that we want to do in the world and making our mark in the world and whatever it is that we want to do. So we have to be on our A game. You know what I'm saying? Steel sharpens steel. You already know how that goes, and this is why I'm here. You know what I mean? So don't be offended, girl. Don't be offended. So this conversation was actually sparked by one of my other videos. I will leave it in one of these corners right here where I talked about, you know, are Black women scaring Black men away? And it was a very interesting dialogue. A lot of you guys had a lot to say about that, so I definitely will be tapping back in with you very soon. And I honestly just feel like there has been a void in the community within Black women where we call each other to the floor for correction. One thing that I can say that we have been doing, which I'm super proud of, is bigging each other up, creating more of a sense of community, finding more places for us to, you know, or creating more spaces, and, you know, places for us to be able to go and unload all of our different trials and tribulations and things that we've gone through from childhood all the way through womanhood. You know what I mean? Things that only another Black woman would understand. I think it's very important for us to have those spaces where we feel safe to do that. And I think that we do have those things, which is amazing. One thing I think that we are devoid of is a space where we can tell each other the truth, where the truth may not necessarily be pretty, the truth may not necessarily be favorable or easily digested, but it's stuff that we need to hear in order to help us ascend higher and to grow and evolve overall, right? Many women, many Black women, want to partner with Black men, so that conversation is vital. It is necessary for us to start chopping it up and figure out what's going on. You know, there's something that's happening. And, you know, with the accountability that we want men to take, Black men to take in those instances, we have to also have culpability for our part or lack of, you know, contribution, you know, with what it is that we could be adding to the situation to make it better, right? We just have to have all of those things considered off top. So if you ask any woman, okay, whether she be black or whatever, any woman, is she wife material? There are going to be very few, very few women that are going to be honest enough with themselves, self-aware enough to be able to say, nah, you know, not really. You know, I have the promise in the I have the promise, okay, I have the possibility to be. I definitely have the tools, you know what I'm saying, somewhere in there, but I may not be there yet, but I definitely have the foundation of what it may take, you know, in order to become a wife, or in order to be a good wife, or, you know, to know what a wife is. All of those different things. You're very rarely going to hear a woman omit that, okay? It's going to be very rare. Most women do feel like they have all of the qualities necessary to be able to spearhead a family, okay? You know, I don't know how many women are really thinking about, wow, can I really lead an entire household? And although the man is supposed to be the head of the house, he is the one that goes out into the world to make things happen, to protect the family, the woman's role in the home is so vital, okay? As the wife, as the mother, as the matriarch of the family, you have a very important role. And calling yourself a wife looks cute on Instagram and looks cute in a lot of these other spaces, right? You're thinking about the ring, you're thinking about the wedding, you're thinking about all of these different tangible components of a marriage, financial components of a marriage, but we're not really thinking about long term. So I have some notes, and these are some of the things that I think that may be preventing black women from becoming or being wife material. You can't cook, girl, okay? You can't cook. You can't cook nothing. Now, a lot of my professional women, you know, y'all gonna beat me down for this. They gonna beat me down. I don't have time to cook. I'm working. I'm out here getting my coin. I'm making, you know what I'm saying, things happen for me. Nobody else is taking care of me. I pay all my own bills. I take care of myself, okay? If I want to, you know, get something nice to eat and I want a gourmet meal, I'll hire a chef to do it. I will go out and, you know, go and get a fabulous meal somewhere. Whatever. This is what you guys need to understand about that, right? Because it's a lot of pushback, right? When you start talking about women doing something, you know, as simple as being able to put food on the table. You have to feed yourself also. So it's not even just your family that you're feeding, it's yourself. You want to be able to feed yourself. Do you have the capacity and capabilities to prepare a meal? Which, when you think about it, really does take patience. It takes love. You can tell when food is not made with love, okay? It takes time. It takes energy. A lot of women feel like they just don't really see the significance or importance of that, and they kind of prioritize other things over something so major, okay? How do you talk about you want to have kids, but you can't prepare a meal? You know what I mean? How can you talk about you want to have a husband and you want to support him and this, that, and the third, and you can't prepare him a meal? Granted, we're not talking about, you know, every single day, because again, this is 2022, you know, so we are working, enterprising, we are taking care of our families too, you know, in the midst of all of that. So it can be a lot. I'm not saying you're going to bust down Thanksgiving dinner Monday through Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it make sense. But can you prepare, okay, a couple of meals to provide you and your family sustenance as a wife? Can you do that? And a lot of you women, black women, my sisters, a lot of y'all can't. And the meals that you do prepare is kind of like a double-edged sword, because, okay, either you can't cook at all, or the food that you're preparing, the meals are not nutritious. The meals are not providing any kind of nutritional additions to the family, right? So you're making fried chicken, smothered pork chops, oxtails, rice and gravy, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, when you do want to cook. Now, all of those are our favorites, right? These are things that well, not my favorites, but used to be, right? Stuff that we grew up on, things that are like our comfort foods that make us feel good and make us feel warm. So when we do want to cook, that's kind of what we want to get in the kitchen and cook. But ladies, let me tell you, okay? We have to start doing the due diligence to figure out, okay, what kind of diet is going to be best for myself and my children and my husband to keep us the healthiest, to keep us alive as long as possible, okay? Health is wealth. Food is the health that we need. You know, that's our pathway to good health, is the things that we put in our body. And so if you are cooking, but you're not cooking nutritious meals that are going to give you and your family sustenance, you're not really doing nothing. It's actually a detriment to the household. You know what I mean? Because you're feeding them things that are not good for them, right? So not only are we having to think about, can you cook, but can you prepare nutritious meals? You know, it's a lot of girls that brag on their cooking, child. Oh, I could cook, I could throw down, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you cook without a whole bunch of butter? Okay, will it still taste flavorful if you really has to only rely on herbs and natural spices, things with very low MSG? If you only had to cook with, you know, plant-based foods, right? Yeah, I know y'all don't want to go there. I'm not going to even go there with y'all today. Like I always say, what do I always say? We got to do it in pieces, okay? So we're not gonna overload you, we're not gonna overwhelm you. Do you have the capacity to make food for and prepare food for your family that is actually going to enrich them, raise their vibration, and keep them kind of operating at a very optimal level? You know what I mean? It's stuff that you have to think about. Another note that I have is that so many of us Black women are self-absorbed. Oh my God, we're so self-absorbed, you guys. You know, social media didn't help. You know, it just kind of put a magnifying glass on our need to, you know, feel attended to and to get this attention from these outside parties. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things that we do, the outfits, the, you know, showing all of our travels and all of our boss things, and we're going here and we're at this event and we're doing this and we're doing that. And although that's fun and we should be able to express ourselves and let people in if that's what we choose to do, you know what I'm saying? It could be selling your business. You could be selling your products that way, or you have a business to where it makes sense for you to kind of showcase your lifestyle in that way, right? Of course, we're not always talking in absolutes. However, so many of us, if we're honest, so many of us are so, you know, just consumed with what we have in this phone and who's looking and who's saying this and who's thinking that. And, you know, is our hair okay? Are we camera ready every single time? You know, and it's just making us so, how can we even begin to think about fostering a healthy environment for a family when all we do is think about ourselves? Getting our own hair done, getting our own, you know, make sure I don't want to get my body done. I can't think about having a baby because, you know, I really want to get my body done and I want to have my time to live my life. And, you know, we're not even thinking about family. We're not even thinking about building family and stretching out into the community and helping other people with their families and kind of celebrating the, you know, idea of family. We're not even focused on that. We're not focused on it. You know what I mean? We're focused on getting the attention, getting the likes, getting the people in our DMs, getting, you know, all of these different things, right? And I think a lot of it does have to do with maturity and age as well. A lot of us do need to grow up. A lot of us are looking for the attention that we didn't get when we was in high school, child. That's a whole nother story. Maybe you wasn't that girl and now you're looking to become that girl, okay, via Instagram. But how is that helping you? You know what I mean? Again, if it's helping you make money and you are actually, you know, being able to make a living by doing this, you know, it's kind of a different story. You know what I mean? So to speak. But I mean, if you just on there all the time scrolling, posting this, wanting to always be seen, this, that, and the third, I don't really know if that's wife material, baby, because wives are really focused on their families. I think we really have to start thinking about, how are these things helping me to become a better wife? If I do feel like I'm wife material, the things that I'm incorporating into my everyday existence, how are these things helping me to become a better wife? It can't be scrolling on Instagram all day either, because the stuff that's on there is not even real. It doesn't even, there's nothing, you know, with any substance. You know what I'm saying? There's very few things, I would say, of substance on these social media platforms. So what are you gaining from it that you may be able to infuse into your relationship that would prime you to be wife material? You really have to start thinking about that as well. We're also extremely money obsessed, career obsessed, okay? That kind of falls in line with the whole social media thing and what we're showcasing on social media. We only care about the money. We are letting these and really, this is what it is. This is what it is right here. These rap girls, okay, we got our Meg Thee Stallions, Cardi B, City Girls, Nicki Minaj, you know, all of these different people, right, that we love, and we love their artistry, and we love them as people, you know, what they're bringing to the game. We love them, right? We stand for them, period. However, the messaging, okay, and the music is not conducive to building a healthy family. I said it. No, please don't come for me, y'all hives and all of the different people. Please don't come for me. We love them. Is the messaging translating to us language and information that we can digest, that we can now ponder upon to be able to figure out what in me innately can I infuse into, or the information that I'm receiving, how can I compile all of that with what I innately have within me in order to prime me to become a better, potential mate for somebody or a potential wife? How is it helping me to step up my game? How is it helping me to round out who I am as an individual? How is it helping me to elevate and to ascend higher as a spiritual human being? Baby, it's not giving that. You know what I'm saying? You listen to the lyrics, and I'm not lying. Y'all can go listen to the lyrics. A lot of these lyrics don't support that. And the irony behind it all is the majority of all of those women are in relationships or married while y'all single. Y'all don't have a man, for those that want one, okay? Because y'all gonna get offended. Who said I want a man? So for those that want one, okay, you don't have one. But the girls that you're listening to when you're on the way to the party, you're on the way to the day party, you're on your way to the club, okay? These women have husbands. These women have families, okay? And what they're doing as this character, who they're showing up as in the world, is a character, okay? And when they take off the wigs and they take off the mask of makeup and the clothes and the costumes and all of the theatrics, right? And they go home to their family, they are wives and mothers. Okay, things that you aspire to be, but you're getting it convoluted and you're getting it twisted, right? So even with that, just focusing so much on the money. Okay, you got to get this money, F these dudes or whatever. I'm about my bag. I'm about to chase this bag. You spend all of your life focusing on that, putting the priority and the importance of life on material things. And it's not even just the material things, I'll give you guys an out for that, because I understand that we are in a world where a lot of the times we do have to fend for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of beta energy happening around here. So I'm not gonna front and play like, we got all these dudes that's just, at our feet waiting to help, to pay rent, to pay car notes, to, take care of us while we're in school, to do whatever it is that we want to do, right? So a lot of these things we do have to do on our own. So that's one thing, but you have to make sure you have balance, ladies, okay? So you cannot be career obsessed. You cannot be money obsessed. And that's also what causes a lot of you to carry a lot of that masculine energy too, because you are so far over on the spectrum of worrying about different things besides family, love, the things that we are wired here to do, okay? Regardless of to do, regardless of what you tell yourself. We all have dominion over ourselves, so we can make ourselves go whichever way we want to, okay? However, the way that God has designed us to be, those are our superpowers and those are our strengths to be able to take care of our families, right? And, putting all your focus and energy into these jobs that are working you to death, that are beating you down, putting all of this value in your salary, but you're going to sleep at night alone, you know what I mean? And a lot of the men that you're dating are not calling you up for a second, third, or fourth date because you don't have any substance. You don't have anything that illustrates to them you are, capable of bringing anything else to the table besides your body or your money. Because a lot of the times it's not even, sometimes or whatever dudes is not even trying to sleep with you. They trying to bleed you. They may need a place to stay. They may need you to go, put some money down on a car. They may need to use your credit for a spot they trying to, rent, whatever. You can be used for the same things that you are dangling or the same things that you are showing off to the world. You can be used and bled for those things based on your intention with acquiring those things. Have to keep that in mind. And then the last thing, you guys, that I have, because I ain't gonna beat us up all day, right? Poor communication, okay? And when I say we have poor communication, I'm really talking about more so our inability to be transparent, our inability to be vulnerable with men, with Black men. We are so scared of being hurt. So many of us have been hurt so many times, okay? And we're talking about young girls, you know, when you have your first heartbreak and the first guy that you love start acting crazy or whatever, and you have it in your mind, oh, well, all dudes, da, 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 you never really forget those things, right? It's not like guys where they had their first heartbreak and then they just shut down and they never open themselves up to love again until they 30, you know. But we're talking about women where we are able to kind of get over it and we're able to move on, and that just shows you that we are wired to love, we are wired to connect, and our ability to do that supersedes that of a man, which is why we can do it over and over again and be open to love over and over again, even throughout the heartbreak. However, what ends up happening over time is that it hardens you, it makes you jaded, right? Where you kind of go through life, you know, in relationships in a very cynical manner, you know what I mean, in a very dark manner because of the things that you've been through. And what we do as a result of that is we harden up and we have that hard exterior, and we feel like that is what's going to protect us from a man coming in and taking advantage of us or something like that, which is so interesting to me. I see so often that women do that and still get ran over. You still get hurt. You still get played. You know what I'm saying? Even with the tough exterior. So it's really pointless. What you really want to do is exist in your feminine space genuinely and honestly. What you really want to do is try to work on yourself, become self-aware, and really understand what intuition really is. So that way when you hear it, when you feel it, you can act upon it, okay? And you'll know who is meant to be around you and who is not. Who you'll be able to discern. Your gift of discernment and your level of discernment will raise substantially, right? Based on being self-aware. And then you don't have to be scared. You have nothing to fear. Going out on a date with a guy that you really, really like, and you know, let's say he got a whole bunch of girls. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of women that are interested in him and things like that. You're not pressed or worried about it because you know who you are. You know where you stand. You know what your boundaries are that you refuse to let get crossed, and you don't have to do that with all of the bravado. You can state what those boundaries are up front, or when they get crossed, hey, just to let you know, I don't play that. That's not going to work for me. You know, in this tone right here. We're not yelling. We're not throwing stuff. We're not pulling up. We're not acting crazy. None of those things. You know what I mean? And so in addition to that, right, you also want to be able to say, you know, I really like you. I'm really starting to like you. I really feel like, you know, this could be something more. You know, I want to be a wife one day. I want to be a mother one day. And, you know, I'm really interested to see where this goes. And I want to kind of, you know, whatever. We can't even do that. We can't communicate that way. No, what we try to do is we try to play cool. And then and the dudes is going to outdo us on that every time, because they can do that forever. They can do that for a lifetime. Trust, okay? When they say, oh, when you're trying to act like them, oh, it's cool. I'm not, you know, looking for nothing serious and da-da-da-da-da. Once your emotions are involved, okay, and you can't play that game anymore, instead of maybe coming out and saying, or maybe before even getting to that point when it's starting to increase, at that point choosing to say, hey, this is how I feel. A lot of us wait until the, you know, later on in the relationship or the dating or courtship or whatever. And at that point, then the man just flips on us and just says, you know, well, I didn't say we was together. Well, where's all of this coming from, right? And it's because we haven't spoken up, or even in those moments, you know, we're afraid to speak up. So we try to puff up at the same time too and say, oh, well, I'm not tripping. Oh, you don't want to, oh, well, I thought that we was, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Like, okay, don't worry about it. I'm not tripping. Do you, bro? Do you, bro? And y'all calling the dudes, bro. Stop being like that. We can't even communicate. How can you be a wife and you don't know how to communicate? How can you be a wife if you're not willing to be transparent and be vulnerable, even if it's uncomfortable, even if that puts you in a so-called losing position, which is really not, but it makes you feel like you're on the losing end. We got to get over that. We got to get over that. You know what I mean? Because in order to have any kind of relationship, we're not even talking about marriage, any kind of relationship of any value, you have to be open and you have to be ready to communicate. If your feelings are hurt, say it. If you feel love in your heart and you feel something special and magical, share that. You do not have to hide from those feelings. You do not have to hide from those emotions. It is integral that we acknowledge our feelings and what we feel, and we are able to communicate them. Super important. And the last thing I'll say, every woman does not want to be married. I do understand that. Every woman is not focused on being married. There are women that have other goals outside of just being married and having a family. What I will say about that is, though, be very cautious about that. Be careful. I was about to say careful and cautious about that. The way that the world is set up now, the agenda behooves corporations and establishments to have us working than not. Right? So all of the messaging, all of the different things that they are going to be trying to encourage us to do are going to be encouraging us to be more independent, to be on our own, make our own money, do our own things, hustle, grind, boss babe movement. All of those things are going to be at the forefront. They are not going to be pushing you to focus on your family, to focus on trying to become the best woman that you can become. So when you do meet that man that you feel is worthy, you are ready to become his wife because you have really set up and developed tools and really developed yourself and your character and your well-being to be the best woman and show up as the best woman for that man without baggage, without issues, without hang-ups, without inhibitions, without, insecurities, without low self-esteem, without, baggage, again, from bad breakups and all of those different things. You have cleared your path of all of that toxicity. And you were coming as purely as you can into a situation, hoping to have the best outcome, which again is to have a beautiful, healthy, thriving family. That really should be what's in the forefront of your mind when you think about it. And if you would be honest, when you sleep at night, after the job is over, you take off the clothes and you take off your costume or your mask or whatever it is that you had to do to go out there and get that money. When you're by yourself, think about what that feels like and figure out whether or not you have really made a plan to change that reality for yourself. For real. Okay, you guys, so another video, another kind of heavy one, but we didn't get too heavy. We kept it kind of light. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all want to come for me, come for me. Put it in the comments. Let me know if you disagree or you agree with any of these things. Are you wife material? Do you feel like you have the tools necessary to be able to really hold down an entire family, a whole husband and a whole family? Y'all let me know, okay? Make sure to like, subscribe, and share one more time. I want to make sure again that you guys go grab my new fragrance, Free Spirit, the body spray, okay? I'm going to have all of the details in the description below. Y'all can spray up, okay? The holidays are coming. Make sure you have all of your things prepared and in order. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.